everyone. I'm going to be the host today, Disturbia, and I have three guests with me. If you want to present yourself quickly, feel free to.
Hey, what's up? Serenity.
Neg one. Back at it again.
And I'm Drizzels, just chilling, hey guys.
Well, oh well, today I'm a pathetic host. I'm like somehow bugging, but no, I just remember what I wanted to talk about, and it will be first of all the ban list, since it will of course impact what we will see on the next weeks and even in the playoffs. So I'm going to be showing all the pictures, and if you have like any comments on the cards, like for example the blue eyes hit, for example, which I think is pretty weak. As a deck it has been solid for a while, but they only go and touch Azure and Melody, put it at limit to 1. But I don't believe it is enough. What are your thoughts on that?
I think generally it's not enough at all, even though losing Melody is a very large power card. In my opinion, it does cut a bit of the Blue Eyes consistency, but I think the bigger issue that Blue Eyes might be facing right now is the meta shift into something more, where water is like kind of a little bit more dominant because of the other decks just getting neutered and water not being touched.
True. True indeed, because water as a deck, there's also two versions that actually exist. I'm actually very surprised by the way which will may comment about it later on, but the fact that the skill wasn't touched as well, I think it intrigues me, the fact they don't touch it, because like as a skill it is pretty strong, since you put monsters to the same level 4, to then be able to make XCs, so very surprised that it wasn't hit.
I mean, they hit a lot of skills, like the level modulate skills got hit to prevent the abuse here with Hang On Mag.
Yes.
And they destroyed Dark Lords completely. And I don't know, the Blue Eyes hit compared to that just seemed really, really weak. I mean, at the least thing they could have done is like maybe give it like a life point cost that you need to pay like 1 or 2k, or that you can't use it until like turn 5 or turn 7 or something.
Yeah, exactly. And we also got Storm hit, which to me was a surprise. They didn't hit Hate Trunade. I don't know. I think a lot of people expected Hate Trunade to be hit. But eventually Storm was hit, and as for the effect, it was similar to what Hate Trunade does, but it instead destroys cards, and it had combinations with Evil Eyes, and mainly Cyber Dragon, which was abused for a long time as well. So I don't know.
I don't think anyone expected Trunade to be hit. Like, if you did, it's a pipe dream. Like, at this point, Trunade's just gonna remain at 2 until the end of time.
It's more like a wish instead of it really happening.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate they're so hesitant to try to,
ban one of the most cancerous cards in the game.
It's terrible. It's like an endless cycle. It's been this endless cycle ever since like the card was released and For Hire.
It should have been banned 3 years ago.
It literally should have been banned when For Hire was meta, and now
I mean, it should have been banned after 2018 RRQ.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I even had the same impression as an old player that when For Hire was released, it was not the first deck to be OTK, but the first deck to be imposing as an OTK deck, and combined with Hate Trunade, it gave it a lot of strength, and there weren't many decks back then that were truly able to clean the board. And I mean, with cards such as Dyna or even Wiz, I think it was very relevant back in 2018.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, maybe they just saw now that like Storm is so completely free to play that more decks are playing it, that they were like, unless it's a pay to win card, we can easily hit it, and it's not like a boxed SR or UR, so just get rid of it.
Indeed. So
Perhaps.
here I am.
I'm actually feeling like Storm could have been hit a while ago, but like they didn't do it back then, but they did it now. I'm just surprised they put Storm to 1 instead of like, I don't know, Storm to 3 or something like that.
I think, you know, like most of our cards, they generally get touched heavily, and especially if it is very accessible to people, they like to put it either semi-limited or even limited to 1 or even banned. But I think it's because when you see the deck like Cyber Dragon, for example, it performs very well in KC Cups, in a lot of them. And it is, I think, no doubt, one of the best OTK decks we ever got in Duel Links. So I think it was because it was just very imposing. With Storm, you just get accessibility to the cards you want because you destroy Overflow, for example. Or even, how is it called? I think Abyss Scorn, which is a card normally related to Mermaids, but it actually forces the opponent to set the monster. It's just like an opening for multiple combinations.
Oh. I think even though the Storm hit is not... I think the Storm hit is hurting Evil Eyes even more than Cyber Dragons. Especially with the combination of the skill. Evil Eyes are pretty much dead now, and Cyber Dragon, I don't know, they're just playing triple Cosmic, and yeah, they lose like 1 support and 1 Overflow, but they're not as dead as the Evil Eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, for me, Cyber Dragon will be back in, I'd say, its older version, which is without Storm, and as you mentioned, the Cosmic Cyclones. And no, maybe.
I mean, you still can play 1 Storm. Like it doesn't hurt to play 1 Storm, even if you don't have to trigger like your support and your Overflow every time. It's still like a good back row head card.
Indeed. No, just to go a bit faster with the semi-limited to 2. To me, the biggest surprise was actually Ascalon, which somehow, I don't know why they said we will put it to 2 somehow. I don't know why. They went on Dragonity where you have almost no one playing the deck nowadays. That'd be the ladder, competitive, or KC Cup. So that surprises me. And the other hits, which are, for example, Cybernetic Fusion support and Gagaga Sister as well, which I think everyone, at least Gagaga Sister, I know everyone will have seen that coming at some point. Cybernetic Fusion support maybe as well. And to me they look like good hits. I don't know, what do you think about that? But Gagaga Sister is going to truly slow down the Onomat deck for sure.
But yeah, I think, well, for the Dragoonity thing, I honestly feel like this is more of a buff than a nerf. Dragoonity becomes more consistent, and like can now run on True Nade. So I don't know.
Do you still think it's worth it to run a True Nade? Because pretty often you do make 2 Ascalon, don't you?
I mean, you can, but like True Nade's True Nade, brother.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I will be very surprised if they go like without Ascalon, because like Ascalon as a card for Dragonity is like a very solid synchro, which is basically
no, you
not
run
caring about
1
the
and
field,
1.
so.
You don't just
Yeah.
don't just cut the whole
of
thing. You
course.
just
Of
run
course.
1 and 1.
Yeah, it has to be 1-1. It has to be 1-1.
That's the Japanese way.
Yeah.
I think the only question is why they exactly choose Dragoonity to like get some changes, and other decks like, for example, 6 Samurais or Witchcrafter or so are not getting touched at all.
Yes.
I feel like those decks, well, the short answer is like Dragoonity came in a structure deck and they can make more money that way. But,
No.
The long answer is probably something like Dragoonity is less inhibitive of the opponent and is very just linear, so they don't mind it existing because there's nothing in Dragoonity that really prevents the opponent from doing anything on their turn, so they consider it acceptable.
I feel like 6 Samurai had their time. I don't think they should ever come back. That's just my opinion.
Agreed, but yeah.
I think
And yeah,
even
for the other hits, I think about Cyber Dragon, like the hit is not bad, but if they wanted to destroy the deck, they should have hit the skill instead of single cards.
I really wish they would just destroy the deck. I think it just promotes way too much unhealthy gameplay in this game.
Cyber Dragon?
Yeah.
No.
At least for the sake of Casey Cup, man. What every single Casey Cup, Cyber Dragon's topped, right?
True.
I think except this one, was it? Yeah,
I thought
Maybe I'm
I've
wrong,
seen
but
some
I don't-
Cyber Dragons actually getting top 100 KC Cup at least. I've seen a
No.
few.
Yeah, nobody got top 10 because ACT through day 3, but there.
Yeah.
act through so that they wouldn't obliterate Cyber.
There, maybe that was the plan, drop from 83k to 50, and then there Cyber Dragon's
the
not
funny
getting
thing
completely
is-
destroyed.
When I saw Act drop, someone told me like, "Oh, he's throwing so that they don't nerf Sidra." But the funny thing is, he topped so many KZ Cups with Sidra and they didn't do anything. That it's like, the fact that this time he didn't top, that means they will hit it. So,
No.
That will have been a funny sign, but could be true indeed. And yeah, quickly about Gagaga, I think the hit on Sister, well, you just slow down since you're unable to search the cards as well. It is a search card. It is still a good card, so firstly they will hit it eventually, but with the scale is what makes the deck slower, in my opinion.
I think the sister hit's quite large because well, I actually thought they were gonna hit do draw, but
say draw.
yeah. But
All above the age
Sister.
of 13.
Wow.
But with the hit to sister, like they kind of have to choose now whether they want to be like a deck that can, still have their power play with Gaga's sister, or they're just gonna continue to use Trunade but have to completely cut sister from the list.
Yes, I mean, I will
Which
be
we have
very
seen-
surprised to see them without Sister. I think they
They've seen
will
some
cut instead of
experimentation.
Trunade.
Yeah, I've seen some experimentation from notably Buns playing Do or Do Witch and just like 3 Utopic, and just completely cutting sister and just going straight into grenades. But I mean
Or
that kind of just eliminates the rank 6 engine in your deck, so you don't have M7, you don't have Bouncer, so it's like really hard to have a turn 1 play. Like the best thing you can make is Roach. Which is good versus some decks, but it's not enough versus
Indeed.
most.
I don't know. I see a build with it's like just 2 Trunade and like just disregard Sister. I feel like that build is doomed to fail. You're
Yeah.
just like trying to sack your opponent. At that point, you've like accepted that you can't outplay anybody, so you just want to draw Trunade.
You're
No. And I mean, we had like in the past
No
KC
shade,
Cup.
but it's the truth. Anyway, continue.
I mean, we had in the past KC Cup, we even had builds of Onomat who topped and maybe even played only 1 Trunade or even 0. Like Cosmic Cyclone is not that much worse, unless there's like a huge back row meta.
Yeah.
So I can even see that they just get the Trunade and still play a double sister.
Is it possible to play 1 sister?
Yes.
So
This is not pretty though.
Yeah, as negative one said. And next I'm just here showing the other 2 semi-limited cards, which are Star Seraph Serenity and Sanctified Dark Lord. So eventually Star Seraph, I think everyone saw that it will be hit eventually. Like as an engine it's just everywhere, basically. And Sanctified back to 2 is for me the surprise. So
well,
Good riddance. I mean, what a shame.
I don't know. I mean, concerning Dark Lord, if someone tells me that it is a shame to see that, I will say it is a shame to see the deck alive, but personal opinion,
Yeah.
of course.
I was
But
watching an old Duel Links video like yesterday, and I realized like it just that Dark Lord's been around before Synchros has been around. That's ridiculous. It's been a consistent meta deck before Synchros came out, and now we're on Xyz.
Actually, no. Dark
That's
Lord,
not true.
the first
That's not
Dark
true?
Lords came, and I don't want to be incorrect, but it is from the Minibox 19, so that was during the Synchro era. But if you talk about meta decks, I actually might agree that, well, almost, because Six
Yeah, it's
Samurai,
6
exactly, it
No.
was the
Yeah.
first meta Synchro deck that existed, and then Dark Lord appeared, which at that point there weren't many Synchro metas, so Dark Lord became relevant for quite a while, actually 6 months they were alive for that time, so that was actually a lot for any meta deck as well.
I must have got confused because the player only had 5 extra deck cards.
Actually, there were 6 spots. There were 6
Yeah, there should have
spots.
been 6
Yeah,
in Synchro
that's-
meta, but he only had
should've been
5.
Oh,
That's weird.
4 people. I mean,
maybe he likes 5, he doesn't care about number 6.
I'm hitting the wrong kind of people, my bad.
But yeah, no, the impact on Sovereignty, I think that was a good pick to stop Star Seraph to be used.
I agree.
Because Scepter, even though people will be maybe reacting that way, but they're never hitting your cards, what the heck is that? You just read the effect of Scepter, and just Sovereignty by itself is even worse for the following things, is that if you normal summon Scepter, you need Sovereignty. So if you don't have Sovereignty, Scepter is just going to be a normal summon, and a useless one. So the fact that it touched Sovereignty is, I'd say, almost killing Star Seraph or entirely killing Star Seraph, at least between these 2 cards. But definitively that's really slowing down the purpose of using these 2 Star Seraph, Scepter and Sovereignty. And
Think
yeah,
this is good.
Yeah, I like the hit a lot because I think I was afraid that if Star Seraph wasn't hit and they just killed Dark Lord, that other decks, like as we've seen Dark Magician, would just start using Star Seraphs and it would be kind of like the same cycle. It wouldn't be as good, obviously, but you know, just seeing the Star Seraph combo in this game is kind of ridiculous.
We just have something else to complain about.
Yep.
But I think they did a good job. Hopefully Japan doesn't find anything. Other than, you know, like the Crystal Beast deck.
talking about complaint, by the way, I don't know if you will be complaining a lot, but I guess we could. Due to the hits semi-limited to 3, Martin and Emerald Bird. Semi-limited to 3, which is, at that point, it is killing the deck. Basically killing the deck. I don't know how Lunalight
They
will be even
hit it,
played.
and then
so-
they add Tenki, which kind of undoes the hit. So,
No. They basically lose 3 cards and then they add 3 tankies.
Mm. Yeah.
It's not really changing anything.
Yeah. No, of course, indeed. I think that will have been related to Tenki, because for those that don't remember, just in case there's maybe some non-competitive player in the chat, but Tenki allows you to search for Beast Warriors from the deck. So as a card, it will be a staple for Lunalight, since you can search any Lunalight and then be able to make the plays, search for the fusions with Martin. So a lot of combos will have happened just because of Tenki. But yeah, like competitively it is dead, and also for farm decks, by the way, which I don't know if you knew about that, guys, but Lunalight was used for that as well. So
yeah.
even though there's 10 key, I do think the deck is dead, in my opinion. Plus, of course, they will have to cut out Veil, Battling Boxer Veil, which is limited to 3 as well, so even less defense for Lunalight.
Actually, one second. There's a very quality meme about Lunalight.
That sounds good.
It's posting. It was supposed to be a free-to-play deck. I have to have new bucks 3 times per day. Yeah, but like, I mean, you like, Lunalight came out what, February 2020? Been out for a while.
2020, yes. 2020, I believe. Around that year for sure. It was staying for a long time as well as a deck, definitively. And yeah, I guess we can move now to the skills. So some skills being buffed, and of course we will be mainly talking about those that has been affected, like those that were using competitive but got hit. So we'll pass through all the skills. Check out my fusion. Can be used each time your life point decreased by 1,500 life points. Return one card from your hand to your deck and add a Vacroid connection zone to your hand from outside of your deck. And can be used once per turn, twice per duel. Specific to Roid, and Roid is bad. I think this is a skippable skill. Yep. And Pathway to Chaos though, which for fun decks it is better. But yeah, competitive we'll forget it as well. Change one of the following monsters you control to the monster listed. If you are changing an effect monster, send one creep monster from your hand to your grave. The skill can be used once per turn, twice per duel. Monsters that includes Gaia the Fierce Knight in its original card name, Blackluster Soldier, and monster whose original card name is Blackluster Soldier or Super Soldier. Insanely for fun as well. I don't know why there's a Kuribo thing in the skill effect. Escapable again, of course.
It was in the original.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, weird skill. Now the main ones, I'm actually going to go to the other image because level duplication has this same, what should I say, same restriction as the other level skills, level augmentation and reduction, which is that can be used when the life points are 3,000 or lower by revealing a monster card in your hand and selecting one monster on your field. So only the life points thing is what changes for the skills, which is going to slow down any player in general. Like for any deck that is going with a turn 1 or even turn 2 Synchro Xyz, the restriction is going to be very annoying unless you do have the Cosmic Cyclone. So I guess it is still a good skill, but some decks will have a better benefit, or maybe all of them if you play Cosmic Cyclone. But yep, I don't know if the skill shall have been hit worse, because at some point one thing we need to also not forget, you'll tell me your opinion guys as well, which is the more we hit the skills, the more we get out of the main theme that Duel Links wanted us to do, which is using skills to play decks. So I still think it's not a good sign, and I think we could have not seen these skills touch and instead have a restriction on the decks, but the reverse happened. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think the mainly important thing was that you make it only till the end of the turn, so you can't abuse it anymore with the hang-on mech. But yeah, that's now a hit to decks who want to use it turn 1 as well, like Thunder Dragons or like Shiranui in the past, who used a lot of the level modulation skills.
Pretty much a nerf to any deck that wants to use it, period.
No.
Yep.
Maybe they went a bit too far, but
yeah, for me that is actually far. Especially if we compare to the last Banlist, because there were like some skills touched, and some of them, for example, that were unfairly touched. For example, my monster cards, which had a hit, I believe, 2 months before its Banlist, and it actually became worse as like 6 skills had the same restriction of the player cannot special summon, cannot use monster effects on the same turn. So very harsh hits, and the fact that we have like, I'd say, basic skills for any Xyz, any synchro being touched, it just makes me think that any skill that will be released in the future will become worse, and especially the ones that can be used in any deck. So a very sad hate in my opinion. We could have avoided him. If your skill counts as blue eyes, Konami will destroy it. I think that's wrong, because a level tuning out of all... Well, actually, no. Level augmentation, yes, that's the one that will counter blue eyes since you play FA. Level tuning was also used for it, so yep, maybe there's some weird plot from Konami that they want to defend Blue Eyes more. Who knows? I'm just going to move on the last two skills that got hit. Of course, Titan Showdown and Onomatoplay. We agree Titan Showdown, that's a dead skill. Like, it's just very specific for Dinosaur, nothing else. And Onomatoplay though, which allows you to return at least one Onomat monster, and then you add another Onomat. Do you think the skill is going to be at least as good as before? Before the text changing on Onomatoplay again.
I mean, it's a bit like the it's a bit like the flight control skill now, and currently the leagues or tournaments are trying to simulate it basically that you need to return like the same card you shuffle back to your hand, so we can already play it, except for like the thing that you can only use it once.
Right.
Yep, I think I don't have any words. I think you said everything, so yep, we passed through the entire ban list and we'll now move to the match reports. So the first one that I get to see is Abusement Park against Toon Squad. Abusement Park winning 10-3. So Blue Eyes pretty much dominating here. And I see some Cyber Dragon as well that gets to win against Evil Eye and Dark Lord. So against Evil Eye, I think in terms of matchup that's normal. To me, Cyber Dragon will win against Evil Eye since he destroys spell traps. Against Dark Lord, that must have depended on how Unknown opened with stars.
Yeah, I saw that game here pretty much. Then the other Dark Lord did it better. I think the main issue here is that Toon Squad had no reliable Blue Eyes counter. Like they sent an Onomat, but they didn't repeat that. Then they sent 2 Blue Eyes. I don't know. They had the repeat left and didn't use it, and then got streaked by Blue Eyes. But yeah, that's nothing too exciting. We had a lot of Blue Eyes streaks in the past.
The good question is why they didn't use the repeat on Harpies as well, because technically Harpies can control Blue Eyes at some point. Like, it has a way to defeat Blue Eyes, and some people still say that it is a counter, so to me that's a surprise. They went for the mirror match.
No, but on the other hand, like, APK is one of the strongest teams in the league. They're 6-2 and already playoffs, and Toon Squad is already out, so like the outcome of the war is not really surprising.
Yeah, I think same so. Anything else for this report? Else I'm going to be moving on the next one. Alright. We're going to be moving on to Bricks and Potatoes against Phoenix. Phoenix winning 10-5. A lot of people haven't predicted this, but we finally get to see as well Phoenix showing their true strength as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Bricks and Potatoes kind of bricked every game, every single game.
And you opened the car a lot, I assume?
Yeah, I did open the car a lot, that's true. I did open the heads a lot, that's true. My streak could have went further. I ended up actually making some mechanical misplays in my last game with how I should have been using my lance better against Sniffus, but I think that's the one place where there could have been improvement. Otherwise, the rest of the team played very well. But I mean, yeah, we just played Dark Lords and Blue Eyes.
I see.
And it streaked.
Shows maybe why it's good that the level modulate skills are getting hit and that the hang on mech is not a thing anymore.
as well.
You're right. I don't think they ever intended that card to even be a thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
The moment people found the combination of level augmentation with Hang on Mac, I'm sure Konami didn't think this through, so maybe that also explains why Hang on Mac wasn't hit as well and they instead hit the skill. Because I think they wanted people to at least play the archetype as a fun deck, with its theme of levels. That can explain why, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And anything else you guys want to mention about the reports?
Maybe interesting that Phoenix started winning after they went 1-5 and they were already out of playoffs. And now they defeated with BZ and Bricks and Potatoes, like two of the strongest teams in the league overall, like back to back.
I see.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Wait, what's your record?
It's like
They're-
3-5 now.
Yeah, they started 1-5 and then they nuked BZ and Bricks and now they're 3-5.
Hey, surprisingly, there is a massively tiny chance we could still make playoffs because
Alright.
our division is not doing well.
So not over the wildcard spot, more like you can get like second place in the division with a 5-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go wild card, but we could.
That's the great thing
maybe.
about the old meta. Literally anyone can win.
Yep.
Alright, I'm going to be moving on the next one. We're gonna have Diffusion against XO. Diffusion winning 10-6.
No, nothing special here either. I watched that game and talked about it with a few guys from Diffusion. I think XO made like one or two mistakes and otherwise just the usual Blue Eyes and Dark Lord plays and would go one game with RPs. But there. Can maybe say that the Onomat from XO were not working amazingly. But yeah. Quite boring overall.
Yeah. The only comment I can say is that when I see Fire Kings and Blue Eyes, I think about Ohimi. And he will say...
Still working on the Fire King guide.
Yep. He will say why. So shoutouts to Ohimi when I see that. But yeah, I don't think I have any other comment except that I'm quite surprised that we get to see a lot of Onomat. Onomat does sometimes work against Dark Lord, like it's 50-50 depending on the opening.
Nah,
And
it's
that's
bad.
it to me.
You just pray that Dark Lord bricks.
Yes.
There. You used Dark Lord as an Onomat counter. The only reason why you used Onomat in that meta was to counter Blue Eyes. Or like Rook decks where you can just OTK with.
Right, I'm going to be moving to the next report. Ooh, big score. Duel Links Taiwan against Infinity, but Infinity getting the win. And Harpies getting a nice streak, 4 wins in a row. And actually Infinity making a comeback with 3 wins with Thunder Dragon. Very surprised. I don't know if anybody has seen the game. The only thing I can say is it does depend on his version. If he's playing the vanilla, not playing the vanilla. Because sometimes it can change a bit what the deck can do against the other decks, but...
I think level dupe should be here, the 22 card version.
I think so as well. Because we actually have like 3 different versions, I'd say. Like, you have the 22 and 25 or 26 with leveled application. Well, at least before the ban list. And the recent one, which is between 28, 30 with Allure of Darkness as a skill.
No, that's getting more popular now.
Yes.
But yeah, you can see at least that Infinity is doing a lot better than they did last season. Last season I think they finished 1-9 in one of the last spots in Timos, and now they already have 3 wins after 8 weeks,
well.
So they're improving.
Yeah, but I was actually thinking about them because they're getting quite the progress, and getting that kind of win is going to be good for their morale as well. And actually, I don't know the scores they have currently, but maybe they have like 3 or 4 wins this season currently.
Yeah, 3. There's 3 and 5 as well.
Yeah, so they still have a chance for playoffs as well, and I think Duel Links Taiwan is 4-4, I believe, or 5-3.
5-3. Yeah. They were first place in their division for a longer time. And I think they started like 5-1, and now they lost 2 in a row.
I see, I see. Well, I don't have any other comments. If you guys want to add anything else, I move to the next report.
Nope.
Alright, sounds good. Another 10-9. So Shadow Game Links getting the win against Divine 10-9. Very, very close. And yep. I'd say the usual surprising lineup on the side of SGL because they bring a lot of decks. Blue Eyes, Dark Lord, Evileye, Onomat, Harpies, and TG. And on the opposing side, they all went for Blue Eyes and Dark Lords.
Yeah,
you
Divine
kinda
just
see
brought
two different strategies here.
No. Mainly surprising though, like Divine started really bad. They started 0-4, and then they won 3 in a row. And mainly due to the success of like one individual player, and for some reason they decided to bench him for this war, and now they lost. So I don't know what their plan was, but it didn't work quite well. But yeah, apart from the flight control, TG, nothing interesting either.
Yeah, the only thing I could comment is maybe the choice of the counter because they sent Evileye against Blue Eyes. I don't know if that was a good call. I'm actually unsure about the matchup as well, so it did the work, it got the win. And TG as well against Blue Eyes, which to me will be if TG just gets all the combo, let's say turn 2, I believe TG wins the match against Blue Eyes. And yes indeed, Rollup, he is right. This means that Divine doesn't have a chance anymore for playoffs since they lost against SGL. And I don't have any words, so if you have anything else, I'm going to be moving on the next report again.
Nope.
Sounds good. So this time, Forbidden Memories against Tier 0. Tier 0 getting the win 10-4. And
maybe something that can explain a few things.
Yep.
So Dark Lord should have won more games. It's just that Dex is an idiot. And like we're in call, and like Chris tells him, okay, just Karma cut the Blue Eyes, and then Trap like Karma cuts a Spirit, and then he loses because if he Karma cut the Blue Eyes, he would have banished like all of his Blue Eyes, and like there's nothing Blue Eyes could do. Then he loses that. Then Evil Eye should have won more games, but like been an idiot and like burned too much time. Yeah. Evil Eye is really good. Or was. Dark Lord sucks. And sucks even more now. Yeah.
True.
What I remember though, I think like you're speaking about Dex and the streak ending maybe a bit too early, but I think it should have ended like at 2-2 or so, because Zeta threw a game pretty hard, I think.
Yeah, with Blue Eyes, there was a game where there was a Levineer, and then 2 Seraphs. Then like the Blue Eyes, or the Twin Burst swung into a Seraph and the Levineer when it should have swung into both Seraphs.
No, and then he lost next turn to a stick chair combo.
Yeah. Or like, wasn't... Yeah, well it wasn't full combo, but it was like, yeah. Because there wasn't like a big G3000 level 8, he could Seraph quick.
And I think Desire was even already gone at that point, so there was legit no win condition anymore if the Levy stays on the field.
At that point, like, I think Dex's only win con was like trap, like just hard drawing a karma, but I don't remember if he used karma at that point. But yeah, it was the Dark Lord streak probably could have ended sooner. Evil Eye, I mean, in the last format, I thought Evil Eye was just so strong that literally nobody played it for some reason. I don't know.
Do you remember if all the Onomats played correctly against you, because they used like what, 2-3 Onomats till they brought you down?
Yeah, and even the game that I lost, I shouldn't have lost. I just like wasted too much time, and then the game I had like game on board. I just couldn't find it fast enough, so to make a really awkward play.
There maybe Onomat was not the best counter, and something like Cyber Dragon also would have been better.
Yes,
but like, I think we were, or at least I was fairly certain. Like FM's not bringing Sidra. It's not like a deck they want to bring. So
no.
I was like, okay, we should bring 2 Evil Eye. This deck is so good. And then nobody listened, so I'm the only one who brought Evil Eye. But yeah, it did well.
Yep. The only comment I can add since I've casted the match was that Solitude, it just didn't get the turn and the opponents wanted, and -1 already with a good field, so he was in a good spot. So not much we can say about the second Onomat. And yep, I think that's it.
And yeah, his hero still has a chance. I mean, I think before the match you were 3-4 and had basically to win all of them, and now you're facing Bricks and Potatoes this week, so still a tiny chance for playoffs. But yeah, you need to win both weeks.
Yeah.
So this is a little off topic, but speaking of looking for the play, about 2 weeks ago, and during our last game, where we were like X and 9, right? It was our last match. We had a pretty much a Dark Lord God board, right? And it was against Blue Eyes, and we suspected that we might have lethal here. So we had approximately 7 people brainstorm together for about 200 seconds trying to find this lethal play, and we didn't find it, right? So we ended up making a very terrible play and ended up losing us the game. And then literally 20 seconds after the game was done, we realized that there was a lethal play. So
Oh, no.
7 people with
Sounds like a
3
you
minutes.
problem.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh moment.
It wasn't even that like difficult either. We weren't considering that Levineer could pop your own monsters.
Right, I think we'll be moving to the next report since we've said almost everything, I guess, unless you wanted to add another comment, which I can come back to it if you guys want. Else,
next.
Okay. Else we have Lost Tribe against Fallen Angels. And
Yeah, nothing special either. Davide streaking. Lost Tribe doing really good this season. They're 6-2 now as well, and almost guaranteed for playoffs. If their RD would have been like a little bit better. But if you're looking like the division where they're in with like Diffusion and Bricks and SCM, that their first place there is like really, really good. And it looks like they're not choking it like last season. Last season they started like 5-1 and then went to 5-5 overall. But yeah, this season they're making it to playoffs, so that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely a notable change on the side of Lost Tribe. And also shoutouts to the 4 streak with Onomat by Davide Megri, because that's the contrary of what we've seen in the previous report, I'd say. KW. But yeah.
From what he said, the streak should have ended a lot earlier as well. He was like prepared to play like a tournament because he expected he's gonna go like, what, 4-2 or so. And then for some reason he won another 4 games with Onomat, and he didn't really expect that at all.
Yeah. I talked with Taha about it, and he said that there were some mistakes from their opponents.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Relop said that literally 2 times. Yes, indeed. I've actually watched the last part of this game, which truly did surprise me when I got to see it, but it was what it was. I'm going to be moving on the next report. We're gonna have Pharaoh against Garuda. Garuda winning 10-7. So Pharaoh begins with Evil Eye. It does work. They actually get to defeat twice Dark Lord as well.
Yeah, most likely they had the Blue Eyes in the second pair, that's why they decided to repeat the Dark Lord, since Dark Lord should have at least a little bit better Evil Eye matchups than Blue Eyes.
I just got to see the video Magri wanted to play Meta Weekly. RIP. But yeah.
From what I remember, like Pharaohs, they were 7-7 or 7-6 even as a lead. No, so it was 7-7, and Darkseid had like a situation where he had like a Dark Lord field, and he had double book in hand, and his opponent like summoned here the Azure Eyes in his turn, and he only had to basically book it on summon, and then he wins his turn, and for some reason he didn't boost the books at all, and that's how everything went downhill. So definitely could have avoided that.
Yes.
But yeah, nothing special either, apart from the Evil Eye starter maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have anything else to add. Anything else to add on your side, guys?
This one.
Alright, sounds good. Next one. Rookies against Modern Empire. Rookies winning 10-6. Only one Thunder Dragon on the side of Rookies, by the way. Because we know they're usually sending a lot of Thunder Dragons, but quite a streak on this side of Modern Empire with Thunder Dragon actually. 4 wins in a row.
Yeah, the mighty Ruginari Thunder Dragon with Tilted Binds and the great Marju Garzet. That's his ace card.
I'm very
Did not
surprised
see that part
as well.
Thunder
Weather
Dragon.
Painters out of all the decks. Weather Painters, Modern Empire bringing that. So...
Got a time limit win against Dark Lords, that's the thing.
Yes, that's... To me that's a
Maybe
shot.
if you
You know,
annoy
there's some
your...
decks that play so slow, but somehow the opponent times out instead. Don't get it. Like, Weather Painter is one of those decks where that can happen.
Yeah, or maybe
Yeah.
you just annoy your opponent till they don't find any place anymore.
There's also just
I
one
can't tell you
detain-
how many
oh, sorry.
times in Casey Cup where it's like I spend like a ton of time thinking about a play, and then my opponent times out, which makes no sense.
Oh, okay. A detail from Rodlop said the DQ win was a failed repeat. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't declare repeat.
Oh yeah, that was a Miami. That was really bad for my fantasy league. I remember that. But yeah, normally Rookies is like one of the best teams in the normal season. They got like I think 3 times in a row first place in their division, and now they're already 6-2 again and qualified for playoffs. And Modern Empire is like already out for a long time. I think they're like 1-7 or 1-8, 1-7 I think.
Yeah.
1-8 would be pretty impressive without playing another game.
I don't know. Maybe they can see into the future. We'll see what happens this week.
The last thing I can say is since Miniby, I believe he's the one who has done the report here, that the Thunder Dragon was playing 20 cards. No, I've known Regener's Thunder Dragon that he has been playing for quite a while this version as well.
I think he plays like a Vortex as well, like 1 Lightning Vortex, 1 Great Marju Gazette.
Yeah.
It's a lot of-
the...
It's just a. I don't want to just call it random, but it's pretty random.
I mean, he topped the last MCS with it, and he played the Marju Gazette to out here the Hang On mech.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, I mean, I guess you can do that.
I don't have anything else. I think we'll move
Neat idea.
on the next one. We're gonna be talking about Sky Parameters against Smogon Duel Links. Smogon winning 10-6.
That was an
And
interesting game.
yes, a huge streak by the way from Evil Eye as well.
Oh, I think there was a game where the clip got created. There was one game was Evil Eye against Dark Lords,
Yes.
and like Dark Lord had I think 2k life, and then they decided to like negate a Medusa who got double Gorgon, and all of a sudden was 9k life, and all of a sudden the Medusa had like 19,000 attack, and then he negated another monster, and like the Medusa dealt 45.6 thousand damage with one hit.
That's just crazy.
Like, one of the reasons why Evil Eye was good against Dark Lord is because Titan Showdown and Gorgon like counter the Dark Lord loop. So it's like, yeah, they can loop life points, but like her equipped spell just like negates the difference, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of teams, if you don't have like a really good counter, like Cyber Dragon who just deals with the back row, if you have like a normal meta matchup against it, if you don't know how to play exactly like against it, I don't know, you can do easy some mistakes that brings you in a bad position pretty fast.
Or even if you aren't making a lot of mistakes, if Evil Eye opened well, it can be difficult. It's really just like Evil Eye is good against, or is at least even or positive against like the meta decks, and then just loses really hard to some random meme.
No. And it was really popular in the latest KC Cup. Maybe that's the main reason why it got so destroyed by the Banlist.
I think that's because the version actually was existing for quite a while. It just became more used indeed in the KC Cup, as we've seen in April, but that's a version that existed for months, so maybe they touched it for that reason.
And that's the fact that they brought here the shark guy, Reginald, they brought him to the gate, so you can get here the shark drake, not shark drake, here the card where you attack directly, that you can... Yeah, Nightmare Shark, you can access Nightmare Shark now for free, and before you either had to farm the event or get it with like a KC Cup ticket, and maybe they wanted to prevent Evil Eye, Nightmare Shark farming everywhere.
Indeed. Any other details on the reports?
Maybe that Smogon is making a huge comeback again, like they started I think 1-3 or so, or 1-4, and had like a negative RD, and that's the same thing that happened last season. And now again they're 1-2 in a row and they need to win out, they're 4-4 now. But yeah, it's definitely possible.
I mean, I'm hyped for it.
No. Yeah, they have pretty cool
because,
ways.
Like, Rookies is in their division, and I would greatly appreciate if Rookies is in their group and Rookies is in our division. So if Rookies lose, that's good for us.
But they're already qualified, or like you can't really surpass them anymore. They're like 6-2 with plus 25.
Indeed.
There's always a chance. I'll just say that.
Nah, that's true.
Very unlikely.
We will see.
2-0-10s back to back.
Alright, so another big game. Sunclan against Banana Rampage, and Banana Rampage gaining the win 10-9. And we're back to almost the classics, I'd say, concerning the decks. A nice win streak of the Dark Lord, 5 wins in a row.
That was kind of Brazilian match, since SunClan also played 2 Brazilian players with Minato and Vayon.
Indeed. Shout out to Mistaking. But yeah, I don't think I can say anything else. To me, that's... I mean, they're playing a lot of Blue Eyes, Dark Lords, and also Onomat. So I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, nothing special in terms of decks or what got played, but yeah, Sun Clan is in a really rough spot now. They need to win out. And I think Banana is either 4-4 or 5-3. But yeah, they need really good in the last weeks as well.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually pretty lost concerning like the exact score, wins, losses that each clan has, but in any case we'll also be going through the divisions later on, so things will be more clear after to know which clan has more potential to reach playoffs than others. So there's going to be that as well. And moving to the next report, I think that's one of the last Sem against Claw Clan, but Claw Clan gets the win 10-9. Things could be said. Let's go. Let me just go back to the report. Okay, fixed. So yeah. Sem bringing in a lot of Darkers and Thunder Dragon.
Actually, no. I was thinking of a different one. But for this one, it was 9-6, and then just Blood Street.
Oh yeah, the only thing I remember, and I don't want to be like too offensive or so, I remembered like few members of SCM like complaining really hard after the war that they lost. But then you also see they played like a Power of Dark Witchcrafters, and yeah, I don't know about that.
You don't see me doing that.
Japanese players, they have a different understanding, I guess. But yeah, like on both sides you have like a Witchcrafter indeed, and then Yosendra as well.
Yosendra might, maybe that's something we can talk about later with the new box. Yosendra might not even be that bad, since they can play triple tanky as well.
Yeah, it might be coming back.
I guess. I feel like at that point you're just like, this card's a Beast Warrior. That means it's searchable.
No. Maybe Yosendra not the most popular deck to play against, so it's quite boring.
Well, honestly, Yosendra can be bad because technically the only deck that truly annoyed Yosendra was Dark Lord, and no other deck. So it will eventually be back.
It's like part of it's like how good is just matching a stat line. Like against Blue Eyes, that's pretty decent, but like against Harpies, they just run ties, so like OYAM does nothing, you know.
Indeed.
And they can't keep up with the card advantage of Harpies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Harpies is potentially going to be tier 1 indeed. And yep, let's go on to the next one. It's going to be Sensei against Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Live. YGL gaining the win.
This was the match I was thinking of. So apparently, in the game was 9-8, and there was a misplay with game on board from a Sensei side, I believe. Then that resulted in Onomat winning. And then the next game was an Onomat mirror at 9-9, and then
yeah, exactly.
So
that's unfortunate. You're kicking yourself for that one.
yeah.
You get punished then at first, you lose with a misplay, and then you go like second in the mirror. But I mean, you can say that it's quite interesting. They started Tech Genius Set Delta Axel. The version here, the Shiranui #1, piloted in the KC Cup and got top 10 global. So yeah, they were quite confident in him and his decks, and there, even though they had to use a repeat, it worked. He went 3-2 as a starter, with a really Rook deck, so that's kinda cool.
Yep. No, from what I remember since I've casted it, I think there was one game, or even two, where the opponent really didn't open well. Like both Garov and Alacorn, they didn't have an opening that will stop TG, so TG had a sort of free field actually. Like no Dark Lord, no Star Seraph to then into NXCs, nothing. So that was
I
a
mean,
pretty easy field
if they
for
have the
Shiny.
combo, it's if they have the combo, it's not hard to 6k on Imaru farm somebody.
Yep.
That deck is actually not bad.
TG underrated. And I think I have no more words on that. Any comments on your guys' side? Alright, time to move on.
Not really.
I think that's the third last report. We're gonna finish this soon. So Switcher against BZ. Pretty much classic lineup on the side of Switcher. Although I see Thunder Dragon at the beginning as well. Cyber Dragon 2, Blue Eyes, Dark Lords. On the side of BZ, no Dark Lord actually. None.
Wow. No.
I think
Dark
the really unfortunate part was not even that game. Like during the war, there was the Chinese KC Cup, and unless to our normal KC Cup, you have a team system in the Chinese KC Cup, and I was with Team BZ there, and basically the 5 players had to stop then for 2 or 3 hours playing the Chinese KC Cup for this Team Wars game, and the really sad thing is we had like before they started playing Team Wars, we had like a lead. And then they lost Team Wars, and we lost the lead in the KC Cup as a team as well. So there was like a double loss there.
Yikes.
There was big yikes. Like we had the whole weekend, we had like a 50k lead, be in front of the second team, and after Team Wars of them was over, we were already 50k behind for some reason.
Okay, that's a thing, I guess. Ouch. Like going
How
for
does
100 as well.
Chinese Duel Links work? Like for how does that KC Cup work for those that don't know, including myself?
Including
It's
myself.
like the game is basically 4 years ago, or like it's just a normal world. There is no GX, there is no 5Ds, nothing. It started like this January. The meta is of course a bit faster. Like they released a bit more powerful boxes. So like there was a triangle meta where you play like Gravekeeper without Necro Valley, but you have like the Spy and all the floaters, and then you have Machina with like Gearframe and Fortress and stuff. What was like the strongest deck, and then you had like 6 Samurais without Synchros, but you had like United and Grandmaster. But yeah, you mainly played Machina and the Gravekeeper. And the cool thing about that KC Cup is you don't play it 72 hours, you play it 14 hours on Saturday, and then there's a 10-hour break, and then you play it again 14 hours on Sunday.
Yeah.
And
That part I
normally
heard
you get-
about.
And like you normally play for like top 10 or top 100 for your icons, but the other cool thing is before the stage 1 you could like register as a team, and you can have up to 50 players in your team. And then all the points are getting like added up, and you get like invites to like the Chinese Worlds or like the Chinese Nationals basically, if you get first place as a team there. Like the first place, what we missed like by 40k points in the end, sends like 5 players to the next tournament level basically.
Wow. I played that game for a little bit, but I couldn't because I had blue stacks only, and it's like super laggy. It was just like
Yeah, playing
unfortunate.
on
But
an
yeah,
emulator it's
I wish I could play that game. That game's pretty fun. I miss
Yep.
like.
I heard there's a 14 hours, then there's a break, and it's like, wow, no one
That's
actually
crazy.
cares about it, you know? Well,
Do you,
No.
do you think they're testing it there, or like you think they're only ever gonna do it there?
No, they're only doing it there because it's not run by Konami, it's run by NetEase, that's like a sub-company. And they
Yeah.
basically just
Oh.
bought the license from Konami. Like they have a lot of cool things, they have a lot of cool PvE. For example, the 6 Samurai decks there, it's completely free to play. You need to farm like an event. But if you don't want, you don't have to spend a single gem for that deck.
Is it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
huh.
So is
Not-
is
I mean,
is Duel Links just banned in
Um,
China? Or was
There
Duel
were
Links
some license problems, I think. I'm not
Oh.
familiar with it. I'm playing it
Oh.
right now, by the way. I'm trying to hit King of Games at the moment. While we are talking here.
That's awesome. So wait, so what does the Machina deck have? Does it have like gear frame and like the 2500 that we have?
There you have Gearframe Fortress, and like you play 2 econs, and you play like the Mega Form, and then you can like econ take a monster with the with the fortress and resummon the big mega from the grave. That's like one of the broken things there.
Sick.
But I think we're getting maybe a bit too off topic, and should maybe here just finish the last reports.
Fair, fair.
Okay. No, I was just enjoying what you were talking about because I don't know as well about the Duel Links Chinese version, so it's very cool to know what they really have as a feature. And yes, I guess since I can speak, Uchi against FHX. FHX getting the win 10-8. The ending was horrendous though. Reverse are just getting big bricks, cannot do anything.
Yeah. Or maybe one thing I wanted to comment on the last match report as well, maybe Nick and Serenity can say something on that. I noticed that like the Asian teams are playing the level tuning version of Dark Lords exclusively. I don't think any Western or American teams use the level tuning version at all this week.
Yep.
No, I feel like the tuning version was better than D-Draw version. Whenever I tested it, it's like, in order to win with D-Draw, you need to be lucky. Like, with level tuning, you need considerably less luck in order to win your games. In my opinion.
Maybe the only thing like you really miss is that you can't like D-Draw into Levy anymore or D-Draw into Vortex and just nuke the full field.
Exactly.
Levineer is like the really only benefit of D-Draw. It's like, I don't know. When you're playing Team Wars, it's like, do you really want to build your deck for a counter matchup? Or like a matchup that you will get counter picked? Or do you want to build your deck for the matchup you're getting sent into?
No.
So, yeah, I feel like tuning is just the better version overall. Like,
Yeah, that's
better
fair
in
enough.
More is better in best of one. It's just that in side deck, draws maybe a little better.
Yeah, or in the KC Cup where you face a lot of different decks.
I don't know. I feel like even in KZ Cup, the tuning was better.
Yeah, it's an underrated version. Like, well, I don't know. I'd say right now, yes. Before level augmentation was played, I mean, before the release of FA, I know the level tuning was quite often used as well. So, I guess maybe people are still liking the level tuning version, which I think it's mainly for NEXCs, but I'd say especially Utopia Ray, I guess, right? Like that was one of the main purposes. So.
Yeah, that you can Utopia Ray farm somebody and you can even do it like on a Blue Eyes, even when they tagged out and have an Azure Whiz effect on the field. So Utopia Ray is there stronger than like a destruction effect that is not working against Azure Eyes.
Now I'm just going to be watching again the Uchi against FHX. The Fire King, which became to me a surprise, they even sent it against Thunder Dragon. It has a matchup, so win for Fire King, I'd say that's normal. And nothing special.
I'm a bit surprised here as well. It's like the same for Divine. They have one really successful player who have like I think 25 wins or 24 wins, and they're not playing him at all this week and the last week, and now they end up losing. So I don't know if it's like only time issues or so, but for some reason teams decide to bench like their best players and all of a sudden they lose.
Oh, you mean on the side of Uchiha?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't follow like very many teams at all, especially the new teams, so I don't know on the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm a bit more involved since I'm like looking through the names for Fantasy League every week.
Yeah, you know a lot for sure, Drizzles, definitively. I know sometimes the clan names, because I mean FHX, I've known them for quite a while. But Uchiha, that was like something I almost forgot, but then I remember what Uchiha was. So, yeah.
Yeah, both are new teams. FHX is already out. They didn't have a super great season.
Yeah.
But Uchiha still can make playoffs. I think they are 4-4.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
4-4.
Yeah, 4-4, and they're third place in their division, behind SGL and TLTW.
So they need the 2 wins to at least qualify for playoffs. And I think I'm gonna go to the last report before we move on the next topic. X Factors against Rafflesia ID. And X Factor getting the win 10-7. So I believe...
Omayakashi this
Awesome.
time.
Yep.
I think that's what Nek and his team faced either last week or 2 weeks ago. But yeah, X Factors always being creative and playing non-meta decks. Or like most often at least.
Yeah. X Factors is really creative sometimes. Like insanely creative. And I also get to see Triamid on the side of Rafflesia ID. Sending Triamid against Sonomat. Not about choice, they got the win. And I didn't see actually a lot of people bringing water, so they did bring in fact water. Sending it against Blue Eyes, yet again, might be because of the side or tech cards. They got the win against it. And I don't think I have any other points unless you guys have anything else to add.
There, nothing else. I think X Factor is still in. Rafflesia ID should be out, I think.
Alright, sounds good. Awesome, now we're going to be watching the divisions just to see the scores of every clan out and see who has the chance for playoffs, who may not have it anymore. So we begin with Aroma Garden as the first division. So Lost Tribe in a very good spot actually.
Yeah, what I said earlier. This season
6-2.
they're doing a really good job and they're not falling in the last weeks. They're also on a 5-win streak. Like after the 1-2 start, they won 5 in a row now.
Yep.
But yeah, this division is really open. Like the first 5 teams still can make it.
Yes, indeed.
And you have 3 previous champions in this division. Lost Tribe gonna make it as well. SCM made playoffs I think 2 times before, so many strong teams. Maybe a bit unfortunate that like 2 new teams got like put into that division, and both of them, FHX and Modern Empire, had like a really hard time here.
Yeah, clearly. And Modern Empire even more since they mainly played Clan Wars before, so this is like the first time ever in a Team Wars format. And yeah. Also Divine, I think, if they get 2 wins or if they get away, like if they find a way to obtain 2 wins, they may have a chance to go to playoffs, but I think that will depend on the group they are in. So
it is possible, but they almost need to win like twice 10-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they have a negative RD. I don't know. Like normally the standard is that you go like 6-4, and then you need to have like a +10 RD to make playoffs over wildcards.
Exactly.
And if you're 5-5, you need to be like the best 5-5 team.
Exactly. I'm gonna be moving to the... Oh, no problem. I'm gonna be moving to the next division on my side. Dragon Ravine division. Yeah, they have kind of got a favor this week, and that showed it off indeed. So, Sam Briggs and Subclan lost. Yep. Ah, Sunclan, yeah. Yep. 2 teams about .0500. Actually, I don't know what you talk about, Red Love. So,
I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what they mean by that. So I'm gonna start first of all by commenting the results on all the teams. So
I don't know. But yeah, this division is even closer than the previous one. Here you have even the top 6 teams still being able to make playoffs. Only APK is kinda safe. And then Switcheroo,
Yes.
Pharaohs, Mogon, FM and YGL, they all can make it. Most of them need to win too. I think only Switcheroo is fine with one win, one loss. But yeah, really close. And I think we're only gonna see 3 teams in total from this division going into playoffs.
Yeah, very potentially indeed. And with Flash ID Infinity that still have a chance to at least get a score of 5-5. Now going to playoffs I think is going to be even more hard the further we go looking at the divisions, but if they manage to get that score, they show that they're not a bad team at all as well.
No.
Very strong division globally as well, so that's my last comment. If you have anything else to say, else I move to the next division.
I was a positive record. Ah.
Yeah, positive. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
let's go to...
A very close division looking, and actually being the first one on this division. And all because of the run differential, very close run differential actually between Duel Links Taiwan and Uchiha.
Yeah, I think this division is maybe the biggest surprise. Maybe Serenity can say a few things about that. Because like here you had 3 playoff teams from last season with Phoenix, Garuda and BZ, and they're actually on the 3 last position.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I can't really give an explanation to why, but in the meta we're in, kind of is somewhat of a factor into that.
I believe so.
Like, you just look at the records. The highest record is 5-3. The lowest record is 3-5. Like,
yeah, it's just a very close division. Like, it's
Yeah.
almost as if maybe all the teams will get 5-5 in the end, which will be interesting
would
to
be
see
awesome.
if it ever
I
happens.
really hope it happens. That would be hilarious.
Interesting.
It really can happen. Oh my god, I don't think we ever had that before in Team Boss, but that would be really crazy.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah,
Like,
or at least very close like squads, but yeah.
I
yeah,
remember
I don't
one
think that will happen anymore, just because the meta now is,
is shifting it.
well, it's undiscovered, so inherently it's more like
Yeah, it can impact a lot as well.
skill intensive, or like there's ways for player strength to really shine out, whether it be deck building or technical play or etc. Whereas before it was felt very streamlined.
They're just open well, and now you would have at least a good plan. I think we had it like once, when I think both Bricks and Potatoes and Garuda ended up like going 6-4, and they even had the same RD, and didn't play it against each other, so they had to do like a grudge match before going to playoffs. So I don't know if that's gonna happen here again, if they all end up 5-5, but
I mean, if multiple end up 5-5, then like they've all played against each other, so there's no like tiebreaker needed between these teams, I believe. I could be wrong. The rules as well, I think.
Maybe there will be, depending of the run differential, as Drizzles mentioned. And the main problem is that if all divisions will have like many clans with the score of 5-5, that will make the tiebreakers even more complicated, I think. But yeah, I don't think I can say anything else on the division. Do you have anything else you want to add on your side, guys? Seems not. We're gonna move on. 3rd division, Twin Kingdom division. Alright, so another team that does have a score of 6-2, which you mentioned before, Drizzles, Rookies. And actually the run differential is honestly big. 26. And yeah, this is a very stoked division globally. Also with Sensei being a new team on the Team Wars, getting 4 wins, 4 losses. Tier 0 as well with 4-4.
This is just a bell curve. First is 6-2, second is 5-3, then you have 4 4-4s, and then a 1-3-5, and then 1-2-6. It's like just a bell curve.
Yeah, you mentioned it. But yeah, there is indeed a lot of teams being with a score 4-4 as well this season, indeed. Perfect bell curve, yeah. I don't think I have any other comments on my side, because X Factors, they were vice champion of Season 7, so they're getting back at it. I mean, they have 5 wins, 3 losses. Then Tier 0, I think they will be managing to go to playoffs if they get the 2 other wins, but I think they can manage for that. Sensei as well. And next 0 does depends on how they do the next weeks, because they got a 2 streak loss, but they have a chance as well. Cloudclan actually does have a chance too, so very stuck division. Does depends on the next week, which we will comment further, so I think I don't have anything else to say. Only 3 teams with 6-2, yes. Only 2.
I mean, that's a huge difference compared to last season. Like last season, I think rookies were like 8-0 or so, or no, so after 8 weeks, and we had like multiple teams being X1.
Yes. But I'm going to be moving on the last division, which I actually commented it somehow, because I lost my count. I'm a bad mathematician. Anyways, we're gonna move to the meta-analysis instead. So this curve is going to completely change, but we see some decks that are starting to rise, the rock decks again, such as TG, Sea Serpent, Tremids, even Yosenju, for example. Some of the decks will be coming back since there has been the announcement of the ban list. So the Seraph Dark Lord that has been used a lot, pretty much dominating the meta, it won't appear anymore, or almost not appear. Then Blue Eyes will actually remain still meta for a long time because the hits really aren't affecting it, so Blue Eyes on the top again. Evil Eye will go out eventually, unless they plan to use another skill. People have actually an alternative which isn't as strong as Titan Showdown, but you gain life points twice per duel. So an alternative for Evil Eye players. And then yes, I don't know, we'll see the flow of the decks in the future. Any thoughts on your guys' side? How about the meta shift, I mean? Or just... Alright.
I think maybe one thing you could discuss, like obviously Blue Eyes not getting touched as much, but if the upcoming meta is really gonna be that Blue Eyes dominated, or if Blue Eyes are maybe dropping a bit harder than expected because of like the meta shift towards RPs, water, and maybe other not super favorite matchups for Blue Eyes.
That is true. Sorry, shoutouts to my cat who entered the room then leave. But yeah. I'm going to move on the bigger graphic this time. I guess we'll go through sort of quickly. So this is only for week 8. So Seraph, Dark Lord, Blue Eyes, yet again of course dominant. Quite a variety in terms of decks. Somehow Sharna making an appearance as well. As if it's like the 10th most used deck, okay. TG with 50-50.
One quick interruption, maybe like one can comment about Shiranui, since you played it as your second deck. And I don't know if you still think if it's so strong without maybe leaking too much.
Like after Banlist, or do you mean like before Banlist?
Yeah, maybe both. If what was your like opinion on Shira before?
So before Banlist, I think it was like a really strong counter to Mach, and that's why I played it like in MCS. Then in KC Cup, I was talking with Serenity, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing well with Shiranui. I just run Sphere Kribo and stuff." So I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a try." I think Shira is like maybe better just as like I don't know. I feel like you have to tech it correctly, otherwise you're just probably playing into an unfavorable matchup. Just like knowing what you're gonna play against is really important. So just building a Shira deck and then saying, alright, let's go in, it doesn't work. You have to like know what deck am I sending this into, and then once you know that, you can build accordingly, just because it's not a meta deck. Therefore, as a rogue strategy, you have to be more cognizant of what matchups you need to be teching for.
I think Shiranui won a tournament yesterday. Maker Cup, or at least went into finals. I think that's the farthest I watched. So, considering Shiranui into the new meta, it might be a decent shot because I think just trap decks in general are very good right now. But, you know, obviously with water being very popular at the moment, it can lead to some problems. It's Abyssal is just a straight up counter to Spectral Sword. But then again, you do play a lot of traps, so you could always just deal with the. It might be a good deck going forward. We'll have to see.
I second your opinion indeed. TG, I think we've seen also the potential of the deck, like during the KC Cup. Flight control, which will begin to be used a lot by most of the players as well, just because of how the skill, or like the kind of playstyle the skill gives to TG players. And maybe there will be a comeback of Fire Kings as well. I think since Dark Lord is leaving the meta, I think Fire Kings just eventually come back. So, yep. I don't think I have any other comments. You guys? Alright. So moving on to the power rankings of week 8. Zenzo and Luis still on the top. And David and Magri, of course, he got a lot of wins on the last war, getting 8 wins. Placing himself in 3rd. And I don't know if you have any other player that has been in the top recently.
Yeah, I think only Davide.
Yes, I think only Davide indeed.
Interesting though, I think Zenzo had like 25 wins after 5 weeks already, and it was like, that can be really, really crazy, and he ended up with like, I don't know, 40 wins or 45. But now it's going down a bit.
Yep. So I don't think there's any other comments. Like, just David Magri is the only player that entered the power ranking top, so I think we'll move on to the last and most interesting part, which is going to be the next matchups, the next pairings, basically. So for the pairings here, actually I'm just gonna have to move something very quickly. We'll be above all the clans. We're sort of important, we have to talk about this now. Rookies against Smogan. Looking interesting. I think that's gonna be a tight game because I know the strength of the two teams. They're very, very good teams, definitively. Smogan having a lot of experience with Team Wars and Rookies. Yet again, a strong team, so...
Yeah, Smogon has to win this. Rookies are already qualified, but Smogon needs to win out. So I expect a good performance from Smogon here.
Indeed. And that is going to be very important for Smogon. Sky Pyramidas against Modern Empire. Modern Empire, which is out for the playoffs. They may want to stop Sky Pyramidas from playoffs. They can still go for that route. But to me, yep. Sky Pyramidas has chances to win the matchup here. Bricks and Potatoes against Tier 0.
That's definitely
That's
interesting.
gonna be a
The
tie one.
rematch of, I think, was it top 4 last season or?
I think Tier 0 was top 4, yes. But yeah, I think -1 is going to be the one who knows how to do this matchup. But for me, Tier 0, they must have the win. Because I believe Bricks and Potatoes, they are 5 wins, 3 losses. So if they get the win, they will be tying against Bricks and Potatoes and most of the clans as well. Because we have a lot of teams with a score of 4 wins and 4 losses. And indeed, Sterling. They know each other. They know each other indeed.
Are we still talking about EZ versus BMP? Or...
You know, just doing a random round. Like, if you have any matchup you want to talk about, feel free to intervene.
I mean, we play BMP a lot, whether it's 1% or TZ.
True.
This happens a lot, I guess.
At least once per season, no matter if clan was or team was, I guess.
Sometimes twice. But no.
Actually, there's a lot of stuck games. Like, some of the teams, to me, they have a very similar power ranking, I'd say. Like, if we take, for example, ICM against BZ, it will be a tight one between the two. And we also have Lost Tribe against Garuda as well, which will be very, very interesting to watch, definitively. Because Garuda, it is a champion. I think they're the champions of the second season as well, but they're a very stoked team, so another tie-in matchup. Duel Links Taiwan against Diffusion as well.
No, both are 5 and 3. Both need to win at least one more to make playoffs.
Exact. And then the other matchups, I think sometimes we can see the difference. EXO against Infinity, there can be surprises because EXO is currently losing and Infinity actually won the 2 last games, I believe, so... Or maybe just the last game, but... An interesting match about to happen between the two teams.
We have a lot of Asian games, like Switcheroo, Claw Clan, SCM, BZ.
Indeed.
X Factors, FHX as well. So you're gonna see maybe how different Asia and here the Western community is approaching the new meta with like the new box and Banlist. I think there's only one game. I think only Switcheroo against Claw Clan is before the new box. I think they play like 9 AM EST on Friday, and everything else is after the box release.
Okay, that's interesting to note indeed.
I mean, I don't know. Personally, I think the new box not gonna have super huge impact. Mostly with maybe adding more consistency to Fire Kings. But yeah, the major change for the meta was the ban list.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think
It's
that
gonna
is...
be
sorry.
tanky and banless.
Yep, I don't have anything else to add. I think a lot of these matches will be interesting indeed. Just in general, any match can be interesting in my opinion. Teams always have at some point their own playstyles or like decks they can bring. So, yep. A very interesting week coming up. and to me that is it. So thank you very much again, guys, for coming. Thank you very much, Drizzels, -1, as well as Serenity. And if you have anything else you want to say in the end, otherwise I think I'm gonna stop the stream. But yep. Anyway, hope everyone is excited for the next weeks coming up on Team Wars. 2 more weeks remaining, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Have a good day, evening.
Bye bye.